All right, so we're back again, and let's get started. So sorry about that. If you don't know what this is MCM. This is Moore's Combinatorics Matrix, and this is a brute force method that I invented to invent things. So follow the links below if you want to support, be part of the community, and start helping to build out other things built off of this system. Join the Discord. You can support me on Ko-Fi, various other links in there, and then get yourself the book, because it's probably a lot easier than doing it this way. So hopefully by now you've seen enough of these, if you've watched any of them, that this is pretty arduous to do it this way. But just so that you know that you can do it with pen and paper, and then being a little bit more helpful than just text, I can do some doodles along with it and give my 2 cents on how I would approach doing this. I'll try to maybe later do some LLM stuff and see what that comes up with, just to kind of give you a apples to oranges kind of experience. But anyways, all right, so let's look at library, okay. Interface. Now we're getting onto these kinds of words. And let's see. Do clay. Yep, that's fine. Then we can do I'm looking through the list that I have here. Tar is a weird one. And we could do maybe paper. And we can do rubber. Okay, so we got library tar. Okay, and interface tar, clay tar, library paper. It's interesting. Interface paper. That's another clay paper. Okay. We have library, rubber, interface, rubber, clay, rubber. All right, so let's see, what can we do with some of these? And again, not all of these will ever be great. It does seem easier just simply because the LLMs are trained on so many things that they can just kind of precipitate a bunch of things that you just would have never thought of. And it seems like they're obvious when you read them, but like actually trying to do it on your own, like actually try to do this yourself, like pick your own sets of words and try to do this and try to come up with stuff. Like, it's surprisingly difficult because you have to have such a huge volume of knowledge of depth and breadth, and then interrelation to things, and then abstractions. So like it's a lot of things that that you as a person are capable of doing that that is also capable of doing at scale and, you know, in deeper dimensionality than what most people, the average person, can do. So let's see. Yeah, we're doing good on time. So I don't know what library tar would be. A tar file? Like a library and a tar file, right? Or like a software library tar file, you know what I mean? Or, you know, PDFs in a tar file. I don't know if that's a thing. I believe a tar file. I thought tar file was a. Someone will correct me on it, but I thought this was like a zip or type of zip, but for Linux. I forget. Interface tar. I don't know. Is there some kind of two things are supposed together and supposed to smush together, and then there's like tar in here? Kind of schmooze out or something. Not sure. Okay, so clay tar. What is clay tar? Tar clay. No, I don't see anything yet. Maybe some of you will see some stuff. Write it in the comments if you would. And then, yeah, anytime I can't think of something, you got something, screaming in the comments. Library paper. So this would be nice if they had like scratch paper. I assume they do. They have scratch paper at the library. All right. Interface paper, gasket. You know what I mean? You could also have like a sheet between two pieces. And let's say you have holes in one and holes in another. Something like that. And you smush this together. And then the pattern here, the pattern here, the pattern here, right, will be on that sheet of paper now. Right, when you take this, pull this out, and flip it over, right, you'll see the whole pattern of both sides of these two lined up. So then you would make a gasket from that, right? Or you'd use it as a pattern for like an interface piece of material to go to match up to both of these, right? Or you could take the measurements if you needed to, which is nice. Here, so right there, and right there, right? What is that distance? Right, that's useful. Right. So very handy. You know, where does this sit with each other? Is this shorter than this one? Right. So basically like doing transfer paper kind of thing to get a layout. Let's see, clay paper. So they actually have Callan clay on magazine paper. So that's already kind of a thing. They use that to give it gloss and durability. It's also on the inside of fluorescent bulbs, so the white that you see on fluorescent tubes. Right. So the white that you see on the inside of those is actually a coating of this ceramic. This is like a refractory type of clay. Rubber library, rubber library, paper library, tar library. So all of those backwards, right? You would have, you know, library of tar, of paper, of rubber, right? You can have physical media libraries, right? So those would all be neat. And then, I don't know what library rubber would be. That would be, I don't know. It would just be like an eraser of some kind. So either the hard pink eraser rubbers or something, right? Or it would just be kind of, you know, the needed kind of artist eraser rubber stuff. So interface rubber. So again, I would think that would just be like a rubber gasket or something. Slash spacer. And clay rubber. Not sure what clay rubber would be. What would that be? Rubber clay. Oh, they have polymer clay. So maybe that would count. Right. So, all right. Well, that's it for that one. Try it yourself. See if you come up with anything. Put it down in the comments if you want to. And don't forget, like I said, join the community. Join the Discord. Help support me. Link in the description for the Ko-Fi. And yeah, see you next time. Bye-bye.